Hello, people. My name is Sako, the comedy compare with the sense of humor. On the 8th of November 2001, a group of persons came together to form a group called the Midnight Crew. And 20 years after 8th of November 2021, we've gathered to celebrate God's faithfulness. We've come around to celebrate how far God has brought them because it's just the beginning. I'm excited to be here today. You don't know how overwhelmed I am to be the host, to get to have conversations with them. Some things you never knew happened. Today, you will learn. Get ready to learn. You will get ready to see the things that you don't see on normal day. 20 years after, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the Midnight Crew. Woo!
For the Midnight Crew.
Awati wa sọ̀rọ̀ Olúwa lónìí, ṣé kí ni oyin bàbá? We have come before the Lord today. Ṣé kí ni oyin bàbá?
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much. Reporting live from the UK.
Yes, sir.
Is Our Excellency. She's going to get to introduce herself. And for people meeting us for the first, when I say us, I mean them for the first time. They get to introduce themselves and then we'll start the conversation. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's go. So let's get to meet you all the way from the UK.
My name is Odunayo Olamide Ojuono. Well, you can call me AY. I think most people call me AY.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Asa, can we get to meet you, sir?
And I am Olubenga Ademola Ibola, aka G Minor.
That's it.
Yeah, my name is Pat Uwaje King. Yes.
Yes.
AKA
Mama P.
Mama P, are you there?
AKA Yada.
Naso.
Okay, sir, can we get to meet you?
All right, my name is Mike Abdul, aka
AKA
Yojisu.
Nicolo Abdullah.
That's so.
All right, so that's inside joke. I don't even know what that is, but let's just move on. Okay, so 20 years. For people that got to have conversations to see your interviews, you all met in Yabatech.
Yes.
So how did the group start? Were you in the choir, or what prompted the fact that you Midnight Crew? And I don't know if anybody had asked you that name. How did you get the Midnight Crew? Were you praying in the middle of the night, and then there was some crew, and then I guess a Midnight Crew? How did you get the Midnight Crew?
Okay, like you said, we met in the Abatech.
Yes.
We were also privileged to be a part of the most popular, in fact, the only mass choir.
Yes.
It was the only mass choir. It was a mass choir representing the Abatech at the time, called Original Love Choir, OLC.
Oh yes.
It was fun. We had fun. We made exploits. And then when we were done with school, we decided that, okay, is everything going to end in school?
Mm.
See, the experience we had on campus was too sweet for us to just dump everything there and move on with our lives. In the choir, there was this suicide squad, rain or shine.
Yes, sir.
When there's an emergency ministration, these guys
Always
would rally around and get it done, even when the other members of the choir are sleeping.
Mm.
So this same group of guys thought that, okay, this thing that we did on campus, let's continue. Now that we have left school, let's continue. That was how the old dream of Midnight Crew started. Individuals will tell you different versions of how it started, but we like to say that destiny found us.
Yes.
God practically selected us and then inspired us to start this.
Okay, so who had the vision? Okay, apart from the fact that you had a vision, how did you get to destiny? Somebody, God has used somebody. So how did you agree to say, okay, Mike Abdul, Pat, Odunayo, and then you came together? Were you all four at the beginning, or from original? Then we got the real original.
When we started, we were 11.
11.
Yes.
Okay.
11 of us started, and real quick, some people, felt no. This I cannot go on with. I want to go to my masters.
Wow.
I want to do this and stuff like that, and I can't mix it with this responsibility. And of course, they left. And then of course, we had some very zealous guys from UK, US who came, found our sisters, married them away.
Yeah.
Very zealous guys.
married them away, stuff like that happened. Until, of course, we became four. In fact, that's why we always love to say Destiny Founders, because it took quite a number of years to establish the four of us.
The four.
Yes, after Midnight Crew started in 2001. I think it didn't happen until like probably 2004, 5. Yes, I think that was when we really got it together. And that's it.
And then this song, Awati Wasodo Oluwa, what year did you release that song? Because that song, we basically sang that song in fellowship everywhere.
I think 2003.
3, I think. 2003.
We usually have issues with our key. Okay, so the first 5 years.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you, what was your experience with the Midnight Crew the first 5 years? Did you see yourself going on these 20 years?
Yeah, I actually did see myself going further than 20 years, and I pray that God keep it off. And I think I was having a chat last night with the rest of the crew, and we're just reminiscing about the things we've been through and how God has brought us. And I think what stood out for me is the fact that God found us, like T Manager said, Destiny found us. But then most importantly, the fact that God prepared us individually from where we were coming from. And we now found that our desires aligned at some point. And it was not a problem. It wasn't a fake thing. It wasn't like we're making it up. It wasn't like we're trying to be who we were. These things were things that were inside of us, and then we realized that, oh, what I see inside me, he might know, like I can see myself inside of you. Todd, I can see myself inside of you. Michael, I can see myself in the inside of you. And that way we became so selfless. So selfless to the point that, if one person makes a suggestion, we just go for it. It was so heavenly. I would think that kind of union does not happen it's not man-made. It was ordained and orchestrated by God. And the humility of everybody, the heart for God was so amazing that we just clicked. Even when we had nothing, we were like, we bonded on a great level. And even eventually when we came into prominence and they knew us and we were traveling the world, it was so amazing that even that humility was still there. We still bonded, we play a lot, we fight, but we never disrespected ourselves. And I think another thing that really also worked well with us was the fact that we had groups, surrounding the operations. So there is a business side of Midnight Crew, and there is the relationship side of Midnight Crew, and there's also the spiritual side of Midnight Crew. And individuals actually handle those areas. And that actually really was something that I took home, and it's been part of me since I've been part of it.
Thank you so much. And the fact that we fought, we understood each other, and the sense of humility. And if there's anything, and I'm not saying this, for of you, your sense of humility is just out of this world. You see, you're in one country, and then people just go to one country, and then you can't even say hello to them. Very true. I just came back. Thank you so much for what. So the first, I hear we are having a conversation, and then was there any time you wanted to just go separate ways? For you, I just said, you know what, Midnight Crew. Let's meet at night and just let's break this. What at any time in your life did you ever feel that have that?
Okay, so we don't tell this story a lot. But the first 5 years of Midnight Crew was so tough. I mean, it was beautiful. We were enjoying the fact that a group of guys came together and we were doing this stuff. Doors are opening, but Choco finances was just at the same level, and I'm the first son of my own family. He is the first son.
Yes.
And we have all left school, and our parents are like, Kiloshi.
And they were saying, maybe I'm sure they would have even used your song. Say something.
So, we were doing what we loved, we were enjoying it, but we were not making money.
Wow.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And it became very frustrating at the 5th year.
Wow.
So frustrating that we had to call a meeting to end Midnight Crew.
Oh my God.
And then because we thought individually that, okay, maybe if we explore personal stuff, maybe money will come, then we can now reconsider coming back to for Midnight Crew and take up. But somehow, when we met for that meeting, I don't know what the Holy Spirit did. We just forgot about the purpose of that meeting.
Right.
We played, we cooked, we ate.
Oh, at a breakup meeting.
We slept off, woke up the next morning and reminded ourselves that there's a program tomorrow. I mean, it was crazy, but it had to be God.
Yes.
And interestingly, we had to still wait another 3 years to see that breakthrough.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But somehow we all were in sync, like AY said earlier, and we just believed that this dream will come to pass.
Right.
And then at the 8th year, God answered.
Oh my gosh. Somebody is watching you now, you're about to propose to at the 8th year. You are in 8th year of marriage. I don't know about you, but you are about to receive the break. Beautiful. So at the 8th year was when the song Igwe, oh my God, Igwe stirred a lot of waters, and then boom, it happened.
Yes.
That's so we've talked about the first 5 years. Now the second 5 years, which Igwe came on the 8th year, and then what happened? What was the feeling like?
Okay. Well, the feeling became very beautiful.
Hallelujah.
Glory to God.
Thank you, Jesus.
It became, very interesting. People started calling, can you come to South Africa?
Wow.
Can you come to America?
Wow.
Can you come to London?
Wow.
We started receiving calls. It became very interesting. And then, of course, the first, I think the first 2 years, like between the 8th year and the 10th year,
Yes.
it was like very good. We went everywhere. Like before the 8th year, we've gone to everywhere in Nigeria, practically. So the remaining 2 years was like trying to begin to enjoy the international communities and
yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
So, but for every time there is this call, we just tell ourselves there is a call, they want us here. Well, how can we get there? There was no means, So one day we were listening to administration, and they were like, in that very meeting, we were convinced that we should just take a seed and tap into what God is doing in this very atmosphere. I remember what we had then was just everything that we took to this very meeting. And we looked at ourselves, okay, what should we do? What should we do? And everybody were like,
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Right.
So we picked the seed, we dropped the seed. I remember going with him to drop the seed.
Oh my God.
So
It wasn't easy.
yeah.
That's it.
We
So-
practically emptied
The account.
The account,
That
yes.
was what happened.
So we dropped the seed, and the very call that was coming that there was no means before. Immediately letter came from the US, and we heard that Midnight Crew, you guys won an award in the US, best gospel song.
Yes.
So when they said the best gospel song, and the guy came with letter, we dropped the letter, we went to the embassy, and that was when we got our visa to the US.
Wow.
And,
The four of you.
Yeah, the four
Wow.
of us, and that was how that very door opened.
And that was the first trip outside Nigeria.
No, the first was
the
UK.
The first was UK.
Okay.
The first was UK.
Oh,
And
great.
even the first
Yes.
was UK.
The
first was
I
UK.
missed that very line.
Oh, yes.
When we dropped that seed,
Yes.
the first door that opened was
So the
UK.
Yes.
Yes, was the UK.
And little did we know
Yes.
that the same man of God that called for the seed
Yeah.
Matthew
was the one
Ashimalo.
God used to bring us to the
to
UK.
the
We
UK.
had absolutely no idea.
yes.
Exactly.
Oh,
We had no
yes.
idea. We just responded to the call.
Yes.
Exactly.
And it was the same
The
man
same man of God.
Right.
that now brought us to the UK.
Right.
Yes.
And by the time
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You want to say
She
something?
wants to say something. Yes.
Backtrack to before where you were at. We did the Igwe song and we did it with everything. I can never forget the experience because we had done the Igwe song twice. So the second time we're doing it, we gave everything to it, our money.
Wow.
And then, I can never forget the experience because it was at a studio in Ogba.
Yes.
And we're all together for days.
Yeah.
The only thing that we do would be to come out onto that Aguda road and buy some fried yam. And,
It's called Jojo, please.
And Akara.
I can never forget it. And then the final day we finished the work, we all left. Shortly after that, the song came out, and then we just then an opportunity to travel to the UK after, and then we're like, you know what, let's just go, and that's it. And then we all left. And then we were here. We planned to stay here for 2 months.
Yeah.
And so we were here for roughly, I think, 2 months. And then weeks later, it was Jetty that called, "Where are you guys? Your song has destroyed, scattered everywhere. Where are you? Come back now,
We were
now."
not in the country when
Igwe
Oh my God.
we had to run back to play our song.
Yes, sir.
Because the song was running so fast, we had to be chasing it. Awala Luni said.
I've got a testimony attached to that particular song because we were all here.
Yes.
And I didn't have a job at that time because I just finished service. And but then I did my was it IT at Total then? And I was just there and I did what I could then, and and then I did my youth service and all that, and we're here. And then while we were here, while the whole country was waiting and looking for Midnight Crew, Total was looking for me as well.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
So
That's
they
totally
called
amazing.
all my numbers. They were switched up. Then I had to call my manager. So Duxie now said, "Total, why, babe? And that was while we were here, they called me, sent me the contract to start the work that I
Wow.
and
Wow.
Igwe, now I know why you do it. Wow, amazing testimony.
Yes.
Okay, so you went to the UK first,
Yes.
and then you went to the US. You got the nomination.
When we were done with the UK, we're always like going there, and when it was time for the US, when the award came,
Yes.
or before the award came, many churches called, "Oh, can you guys come? We don't have visa. Can you guys come? We don't have visa." We now asked ourselves, without anybody ministering, we now said, what did we do that the door of
for
UK opened? We said to ourselves, we dropped a seed.
Yeah.
We don't need for anybody to come and tell us again. We know what worked before.
Yes.
Let's do it
Oh my
again.
God.
We picked another seed.
Oh my God.
And we carried, we said, who will eat this seed and open his mouth and bless us? And we just chose randomly, a minister. We went there. And it was like, what do you guys want?
Oh
why
my
did you come? Who
Oh
taught
God.
you this?
Oh my God.
Who told you this? We said, well, we did it before, it worked. We want to do
Let's
it again. And immediately, just like magic, there's one thing about faith. When you put your faith at work, say this is what I want and I'm doing this too, So we did it again and like, boom. US door just opened. Someone just called. You guys won an award. What's that award?
Nigerian Entertainment
Nigerian
Award.
Entertainment Award.
Yes.
That you guys, amazing category like that, and we got there. It was beautiful, very beautiful, and immediately that door opened. Of course, UK, US, the other area, just Canada, South Africa, all the other African countries, and all of that just opened just like that. And here we are.
So one of the things I learned from this is depending on your belief on the seed. And talking about Solomon had to sow seed, and God himself had to ask him, what do you want?
Exactly.
He came to meet him in a dream and said, what do you want? He said, I want this. I said, I'm going to give you this. And so depending on what works for you, but I know that you can't go wrong with sowing seeds, especially when you're not pressured to do it. this from conversations, you realize you were not pressured to sow the seed. And then, okay, so we've done the first 5 years, we've done the second 5 years, and now the 15th, from the 10th to the 15th year, what happened? I know you celebrated your 10 years on stage.
Yes.
I think that was at University of Lagos.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. Okay, so I knew. So what has been the experience at any time where you were not available? I've seen you do Fuji. I've seen you do. How did you people? Was there any time none of you were available, or maybe somebody had to leave because you had to go give birth? How did you manage? How did you manage that scenario?
Yeah, I remember one event we had then. Patricia was heavily pregnant.
Yes.
And she couldn't go on stage. She was at the event, but she wouldn't go on stage.
Wow.
And we were coming from Badagry. The car EY was in was a different car.
Yes.
Myself and Jim and I arrived, same car, arrived at the venue in Ikeja from Badagry. And they needed us on stage. Pat was sitting there, but she couldn't come on stage. So
Because she pitched. She normally pitched before she had it. You what?
Amazing. And then they just said, I mean, like, what will you do? I was like, we'll go on stage, don't worry. Anyway, will join us somehow. And then we were on stage, we started. I couldn't start the Igwe song because, I was not the female.
Yes.
And it was amazing how AY arrived. She came in like the king.
Oh my God.
She came through the aisle. Immediately she arrived, we just heard noise everywhere that she's here. It was so amazing. I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. And then she came up stage, grabbed the mic, immediately said, "Cause of a view." I said, "Yes, yes." It was so we.
It used to be because people thought it was Pat that arrived. Because
People thought it was Pat.
Yes. Okay.
So we've had such situations where someone wasn't available and someone would do it. And then there was another time, AY seems to be an utility person. I was not available. AY did the Fuji. It was beautiful. It was amazing. People were like, wow. So we've had stuff like that, situations like that where we had to switch like that. I think the next 5 years, in fact, funny enough, it was at the 10th year anniversary in Unilag that Patricia first mentioned, especially to me actually, said, "So Michael, I think it's about time we have individual expressions." That was shocking. That was so shocking. I said, Patricia, this is our 10th year anniversary.
Yes.
I said, I know what I'm saying. Say it's a different, interpretation or expression of Midnight Crew. Let's have the individuals, have their own expressions, have their own platforms. I'm like, wow, that's strange. I've not heard that before. And then of course it was introduced to the whole group, and then we talked about it. And from that 10th year anniversary, the seed was sown for the individual expressions. And it didn't start happening until probably 2013. That's the amazing thing about these seeds, and visions. You receive them. It feels like it's already built in your head, but it's really not built until you take off the journey. And it might take you a while. Yeah. And I learned a lot from that. So that's what the 15th year looked like for us.
It was at the 10th year that you began to talk about, and then you have the years that they were all great. Yes.
I just want to say something to that. I remember it was Unilag that I shared.
Yes.
I remember a meeting in Unilag. I think it was Bookie's concert or something.
Oh yes.
And I mentioned to him because I felt that in my spirit, and I said, this next phase, I think it's high time we begin to build the individuals, have the individuals have their expression. It was tough to say such a thing. It was really tough, but the Yoruba say, you just say it. We don't bring knife to cut it. Still say it the way it is, even if it wouldn't really go well. I remember it took time, maybe at about 2015. It was still very hard to have said such a thing,
Yes.
but it was beautiful. But when it was getting closer, I remember when I was pregnant for the second time in my lifetime, you know, and the doctor says, I can't go anywhere, I have to be on bed rest. You understand? And the reality of life came like, this is it.
Yes.
So of course, what will I do? I have to obey.
Yes.
You know, I have to obey. And I called them, I said, you know what, guys, this is the reality of life. We're not joking here, you know. I can't go anywhere.
Yes.
You understand? That was when it was now very. I didn't know that a time would come like that,
Yes,
but I felt it in my spirit.
Oh my God.
I you know, like the way you just have an idea of a
Yeah.
situation that
Yes.
you're in,
Yes.
and you know, by that time it was really very obvious. I remember a particular experience we had, and the Lagos experience, and Pastor, is it Pastor Agu, that was saying he wanted to do something African concert, bringing people from Ghana, Nigeria. That concert was supposed to happen in March. I remember I knew already I was pregnant by December, and I knew doctor says I can't go anywhere. And an invitation came, and I had to look at the guys. I said, you are not the father of this baby. So let's face reality. The doctor says I can't go anywhere. You guys, we've been saying this thing, and here we are. You know what? Mike, run. Jimaino, run. Ayo, fly. You know, and you know, that was just the bridge. You know, I remember some midnights that Ayo need to call me. Ayo, like, my kids, I'm in the UK, I am here. You know, Pat, what do? I say, Ayo, this is live.
Oh my God.
Go and meet your family.
Oh God.
Join your family.
Yeah.
Just be with them. And it was tough, like very, very tough. But we have to do what we need to do.
Yes.
So, yeah.
For me, it was easy for me to embrace it. It was tough initially, to be honest. But then, while I was thinking about it, it occurred to me that aside the fact that God brought us together to form a group and run with a vision, there are divine assignments that are peculiar to individuals.
Yes.
That may not necessarily find expression under the umbrella of Midnight Crew.
Exactly.
So it will be unfair to the individuals to not let them go
Yes.
and do what God says they should do. Because in the end, when they would face God, He would not ask you what you did in Midnight Crew. He will say, what did you do about the assignment I gave to you? You know, so for me, it was easy to say, okay, Mike, you have a lot of crazy songs in your spirit that Midnight Crew may not even let you record for the next 20 years. Get out and do those crazy songs.
Okay.
You know, so several different examples like that.
We need to begin to wrap. Oh, you want to say? Okay. All right.
Off the back of everything that's been said, I just wanted to chip in on the swap, with the swap of musical responsibilities. For me, it was a huge task because, in as much as Pat was like with colleagues, he was somebody I looked up to as well. Because I'm not sure if too many people knew that for a long time I was seeing her off the original of choir. And I would just be at the entrance and I'll ask her, go do your thing, I'm not interested. And then eventually she had to pull me like, come babe, join, you've got a great voice, come and join us. It's a fantastic thing we're doing. And which of course I'm very grateful to God for. So having to step into them big shoes, especially Pat and Michael, both of them, they're amazing people, which I used to look up to, I still look up to them, both, as people as well as musically. It was hard, it was tedious, to be honest. Because having to sing Key like Pat does it, and having to do the Fuji like Michael does it, I came to understand that it wasn't his pace. Now, I didn't know that God was preparing me, to be honest. And I just want to encourage anybody and everyone who gets to listen to this, that whatever it is that you think that you're going through, or whatever task that God has put or placed before you, and you think that, oh, I don't think I can do this, just try, because the truth is, it is in what you're doing now that you're preparing a great foundation for what God has planned for the future.
Yes.
And I am so I was able to actually, do that, and I didn't let them down, or did I?
Yeah, no.
If you did, you would be here today. Thank you so much. Okay, so we talked about the did we actually the challenges, and we had a conversation even before. At any time, were you on stage singing and then either went off key or you forgot your lines? Yeah.
You shouldn't bring that up again.
So I want to get to hear that conversation. We're wrapping up now. We're wrapping up.
So,
was there any time?
I remember an experience. We went to a Rema Chapel church in Ibadan.
Yes.
And it was, the theme of the program was something about couples. It was a couples dinner. And we were doing a love song that has a bridge. She's your friend and your lover. You better do.
Everybody's laughing already.
She remembers the story.
I was supposed to take that bridge.
Yes.
We had a fantastic keyboardist at that time. His name is Nee. I don't know where Nee is now.
Is it the US?
So he gave me my cue,
Oh.
and my jaw dropped. He gave me the cue again, and I mean, 2 times I couldn't sing that part. They had to cover me up. I felt like a mess. Like, oh my God. They were all behind me.
Oh, because we're expecting you to sing and then boost. Oh my God.
I was so embarrassed.
Oh
that day.
my God.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I have to apologize to you.
But I'm sure, guess what? I'm sure even the audience might not have understood. They might think that it was just a bridge.
That one,
they knew.
No, they knew I messed up that day. Even the pastor, they fought out of it later. You might have forgot your pastor.
Okay, so the challenges. Oh my God. How were you able to overcome the challenges, and how were you able to survive for this 20 years? Is it the friendship you built back in Yabatek, in the original Love Choir, or what stood you? What has brought you this far? Because from conversation you can see that you're friends. What helped you overcome the challenges?
Top on the list for me, I would say, is the God factor.
Yes.
It's so clear that God orchestrated this. He brought us together. He set us up. That's what he did. He made us first become friends.
Yes.
We were friends. Even before we had the vision.
Right.
We were already friends. There's something Michael said about if you're going on a business venture, sometimes it's good to go with a friend, somebody who you're already a friend with. It makes business easier. So by the time the vision now dropped, we already had some kind of sync. I mean, we were like brothers and sisters. We were like siblings at that point. And that helped. Friendship helped. The fact that it was God ordained. And then we also became very deliberate because we wanted it to work.
Yes.
And so we instituted it. We formed policies, guiding policies.
So that I'm very particular about.
Guiding policies.
So beautiful.
That, as in,
You know the rules.
I don't need to tell Pat that she's going to be flogged.
Oh.
Once she crosses the line, there's a judgment book.
Oh, good.
That says, oh yeah.
I still have the book.
Wow.
I saw it some days ago.
Wow.
It covered a lot, almost everything. Relationship, how we share money, everything. We had it clear.
Oh my God.
There was no need for argument coming up over something. We would just open the rule book.
Yes.
And that's
Something out. That really helped us.
Yes.
Anyway, want to say something? Yes.
I was also going to say that I just want to speak off the back of what Imana said about the fact that we're friends.
Yes.
And the fact that Michael also said that when you're going on a business venture, you need to do that for a friend. We have made back financial decisions. We did. And it wasn't about the money. The fact that we're friends was second. and love one another wouldn't make the fact that we lost money break the group. It was in groups who actually fought, as in physical fight, because of money.
Money, yeah.
Right. He gets angry, and one thing I love about this guys is when you're like brewing in your anger, they let you sit. They allow you to, you know. I believe that there are times I've walked hard out of my house. Don't ever come back. I don't want to see you again. Don't come back. The very next day, she's back.
Oh.
No, that time was because I was heavily pregnant because, hormones.
The hormones.
The truth is, bottom line is the fact that even when we lost money, we were still grateful. We still found that strength to move on. If we're not, these guys are not particular about, I personally am not particular about money like that. It's all about ministry. And that actually also shows in how we are and how we handle and having, rules, guidelines about our spiritual lives, about our physical life, about our relationships, about our finances really helps us as well.
So what is the next 20 years? What is the plan for the next 20 years?
I think the next season is the season of legacies.
Yes.
I think that's where we are now. God has, given us wisdom through experience. We need to share that with our generation, with the generation next, in the kind of events and activities that we do now. Books will be written.
Yes.
Books will be written. There will be huge seminars. Pastors have where they go to, like every year, to receive, to get, but musicians don't have it. Musicians don't have somewhere they go to. That's why you would see certain things happen amongst musicians because there's actually no structure. There's no instruction, basically. So, and that's what Midnight Crew is looking at now. It's for us the season of the legacies where we help the generation next find a platform for takeoff.
Thank you so much. The platform for takeoff. Yes. Yeah.
No. Beautiful. I'm not adding the word.
Okay, so any last word to someone watching this video and saying, how can I get to this level? Some people are scared. Do you still have stage fright? By the way, I need to ask you every time. Do you still have stage fright? You're getting on stage and you're saying, God help us.
I remember for the stage fright.
Yes.
I think we were in the Lagos experience for the first time in 2008 or 9? 2006.
Was the first experience.
It was the first one.
The first one, 2006. The second one, maybe 2008. Was it? Okay, we did 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Right. We did the first year, the second year, the third year. Then there was a little break.
Yes.
Then we came back again. Sometimes they maybe about the 9th, the 10th.
Yes.
Then later we did the 2017. We did 7. We did 7, yeah. We now did 2015, 16, and 17.
Yes.
But stage fright, yes.
It was always there.
It was. Because when you come on stage, like the stage of experience, and you see, thousands, the crowd, of people. So of course, the stage fright lecturer will tell you, just look ahead, just look at the heads of the people and all that, But I remember when the sound went off.
Oh yes, I was at that. Yes,
so
I was at that.
Right now it has even left just the stage fright. It's now the next fright will now be what will happen if the sound goes off.
Oh, that's a topic for another day. That's why you need to come for a second.
If I'm in the room with 8, 10 people like we're in here, you can just manage, But when you are now on stage, and how do you manage when the sound goes off?
Yes.
I remember, what year was that? Was it 2016 experience? The sound was off at the
house.
the stage, or whether the front house.
Your front house was
the front
off.
house was off.
Yeah. Yes.
Then the stage, I think some side fields were off.
Yes.
We were only having very few monitors working. But you know what? Before we went on stage that day, we were ready. I don't know whether, that you just talk sometimes, but the Holy Ghost is speaking through you.
Yes, sir.
We already said to ourselves that anything you experience there, just keep the groove.
That's why it's
Yeah,
called the Spirit.
Yeah. So I think, was it Ayo that was doing chants at that time?
Yeah.
She just kept on. She looked at us like, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
We're smiling and dancing at her.
Just keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm saying, and when we went back to watch what went down, we were like, wow. Wow. I mean, and that would have just broken someone, But thank God, but it's been a beautiful journey.
I'm so excited. There are a lot of questions we would have loved to ask. And I'm sure that we might need to do this again. If you're watching on YouTube right now, and you have questions, personal questions, you could actually pull the questions down. And by the way, Midnight Crew will not ask you to donate money, will not ask you to send money to any less privileged persons. We don't do that at Midnight Crew. We don't even come in the middle of the night to speak to you. The intention is for the first 20 years, God has been faithful to these amazing people.
Yes,
I remember 2001, when I was growing up, looking up to them. I'm still looking, I have great respect for them, and today I'm sitting with them.
Yes.
It simply means that the fact that they are there does not mean that you can't get there. It simply means that all you need to do is be consistent. You will get there, but also respect the people that have gone ahead of you. And thank you so much. I am so overwhelmed. I don't know. This is not part of the script. But I don't know if you can do like a cappella or something. If we have something, yes, to have. This is not a cappella, something that we yes, reporting live from the UK and live from Nigeria. What can we do? What can we do if you just give me my part? I can bridge it down. Okay, so what song? Let's wrap this off.
I know to shout, oh, God is good. The thing you do be past my mouth. Oh. I got to shout, oh, my God is too much. Oh.
Yes.
I lift your praise. Oh. Hallelujah.
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 Oh God.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Give the word.
Hallelujah.
Give the word.
Hallelujah.
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 Wow. You're provoking me. Do you have an account you're not using again? just send me an account number. I just want to see how much balance. Thank you so much. God bless you. Midnight Crew, 20 years. Congratulations once again.
Thanks so
much for having me. Great. We had a great time. Beautiful.
Awati wa soro Oluwa loni shekini oyin baba. We have come before the Lord today, shekini oyin baba.